Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Magic Show. This is the fifth of the series where we learn to become simple, lazy, and smart. Things are very simple. If you become lazy and smart, you can save lots and lots of time in your day-to-day operations. A few things first. The first quote that I have is knowing is not doing, doing is doing. So knowledge without action is zero. Please keep on practicing again and again and again. Without that, you may not be able to get the full benefit of any session that you hear. Future topics and timings, I guess everybody knows. You can WhatsApp me, subscribe tag on this number, and you will get the updates from time to time. All sessions are being recorded, and the recording will be available on YouTube in a day or two. You can just look for my name, Yazdi Tantra, and you will get the recordings. For communicating with me, I have muted everyone. So you will have to open the chat window and ask questions whenever you have a query. You can ask questions while we are going through. I will try to answer as many as I can, or you can ask questions in the chat window whenever you feel like, and we will have a summary of all the questions at the end. You can open the manage participants window, raise hands and other gestures for future for your feedback to me. In case I get disconnected, do not worry. Please wait. I will be back in 5 to 10 minutes. In case you get disconnected, you just log on again in the normal course and we will continue with the session. Try and click on speaker view on the top right so that you can get a proper view of the proceedings. With that, welcome again. I have to welcome our friends from Bombay Chartered Accountants Society, our friends from Calicut Chartered Accountants, our friends from Chennai Chartered Accountants, and a whole lot of family and friends from Mumbai also. So we start with today's topic, and that is how to use Google Calendar. Now everybody uses the calendar. How many people use calendar in their physical form as of today? Can some people say yes, a physical calendar? Yes, there are some people who are actually using physical calendar. Yes, no, yes, no. Physical calendar is always very, very difficult to handle because you have to carry it with you all the time. You may misplace it. The calendar is in the office and you are at work, or you are at home, or the calendar is at home and you are at work. So it's a very, very difficult thing to handle. So using a physical calendar is no more the norm these days. Besides, we are always carrying our mobile phones all the time. So your calendar has to be on the mobile phone and on the computer. And the best calendar out of all the calendar apps that we have seen so far is the Google Calendar. And that is what we are going to look at today. So let's get right into it and see what all we can do with the calendar and what are facilities we have so that we have a much better and much more efficient usage of the calendar. So let's get started. We have 146 people already. Some more may join in, and it's going to be an interesting session. So let's get started right now. So how do you get into Google Calendar? Any thoughts? you just type calendar.google.com. In your browser, you just type calendar.google.com. And if you are a Gmail user, or if you have logged into Chrome with your Gmail user ID and password, you will straight away jump to the calendar directly. This is one way of getting into calendar. When you are in Gmail, you can jump to the calendar directly by going to the apps and clicking on calendar. We will see that presently. Right now, let us see the, can you all see the calendar on my screen? Yes? Okay, thank you. So you just type calendar.google.com and you are right into the calendar. Now this is how a typical calendar looks for me. It could look different for you, and that is what we will now see. How can you make the calendar look different? Let's see what are the possibilities. First thing, on the top right, you will see that there is something written as week. Can you see my cursor, please? On the top right. So there, if you have a drop down which can show you day wise, week wise, month wise, year wise, and schedule. So suppose you want to see the calendar only for today. So you say day. So only for today you will see the calendar. If you say week, that is what we saw when we started. This is a week at a glance. If you want to see for a month, you can see a month at a glance. And if you want to see the calendar for the entire year, you can see a year at a glance. So you have many ways of looking at the calendar. Week is the most easiest to view, and therefore I prefer a week view, but you can do whatever. Besides, as I said, we all have to be lazy, so there are shortcuts for this. So if you want to see a year at a glance, you just say Y. I didn't touch the cursor, my cursor is here. If I want to see day at a glance, I say D for day. And if I want to see week at a glance, I say W for week. So these are the shortcuts of the calendar. You will see them in the drop down as we proceed. D is for day, W is for week, M is for month, Y is for year, and A is for schedule. Surprisingly, it is not S, it is A. So what you can do is, if you say A, what you will see is the schedule, right, how it looks. You see this? It's just like your normal diary. Second, third, fourth. Fourth, there is nothing. Then there's something on 5th. There's something on 6th. There's something on 4th June. I'm sorry, 5th June, 6th June, 4th July, etc., etc. So let us stick to week at a glance for the time being. W for week. So this is the layout of the calendar. If you see on the left, you will see the layout for the month. You can skim through the months by putting your right or left arrow keys. And you can, here your location is visible on the left top. Help is available here as a question mark on the right top, just next to the settings. Help is available, so in case you get lost, you can always go for help. And you have a search function. Search function, let us run through very fast. What search does is it allows you to search items in your calendar. So you can say, if I have to go for lunch, when is the next time I have to go for lunch? So I just type lunch, and it shows me lunch with friend on 2nd May. It's very simple. But if I just again click on lunch, I can see all my past lunches also. This is one way of searching. The second way of searching is use the drop down here. If you see here, my cursor here, the drop down is, you can search in active calendars. What keywords, what do you want to search? So you say, I want to search lunch. But if there are some people who are present in that lunch, I can ask for the people who are there. Where did I have the lunch? I had lunch in, say, a place called, say, Mama Mia. Keywords, or you are searching for a lunch date from or to a particular date. So if I'm looking for lunch in last month, I will say from 1st April to 30th April. So it's very simple to search. Either you search directly by typing something here, or you use this down arrow and you will get all the search options. This is just as good as, this is good enough for starting with our search. I want to get out of search. I'm coming back to the calendar. Now, what do you put in a calendar? When you want to add something in a calendar, what are the things that you add? Normally, you add 3 types of things. In a Google Calendar, you add 3 types of things. And how do you add? You just, either you say create on the top left here, if you can see my cursor, or you just go to the time. Suppose tomorrow at 4 o'clock, I want to have a particular meeting or a particular event. So I can click here at 4 o'clock. Now it asks me, what are you trying to create? Are you creating an event, a reminder, or a task? There are 3 types of things that you can put in a calendar, and we shall see what are the options here. So let us put an event. Let us say meeting with ABC. When is it? On 2nd May from 4 to 4:30 p.m. I have set my basic time slots to half an hour at a time. You can make changes. You can make it 15 minutes. You can make it 1 hour. We will see as we proceed. You can add guests. So if you are having meeting with ABC and you are having people in the meeting, you can add guests, you can add a location, and you can add a description. So this is the simplest way of adding something. I can say save, and here meeting with ABC has been fixed from 4 to 4:30 p.m. Can we see? Can everyone see it on the right? Now, if you click on this, you had these options. Now I'm saying modify, or I say more options. Then this whole box opens up. Now here, there are lots and lots of things that you can do with your appointments. Here, when you have a date and time, you have fixed up the meeting at 2nd May, 4 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. You can select the time zone. So you can say, if the meeting starts in one particular time zone and ends in some other time zone, you can select that also. Suppose you are starting, you are having a flight and you are starting on 2nd May at 4 p.m. from Bombay, and you are reaching somewhere else, you are reaching somewhere at another time and date, you can click here and select a particular time zone. The meeting or the event can be all day, in which case there is no question of time, or it can be for a particular time period, that is 4 to 4:30. If the meeting has to repeat, then you have these options. It can repeat daily, it can repeat weekly. So if you are having some meeting with your executives or with your staff on a daily basis or on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis, see, automatically it has understood that I have selected Saturday. So it has understood that it could be weekly on a Saturday. It could be monthly on the 1st Saturday, because 2nd May is the 1st Saturday of the month. It could be annually on May 2nd, or it could be every weekday only. It is not daily, that is, Sundays will not be included. It's every weekday, Monday to Friday. Or you can create a custom designed repetition. Repeat every week, day, month, or year. You can say repeat it on every Saturday. It ends on so-and-so date or after so many occurrences, or it never ends. So this is perpetual every week. Now, if I say done here, then every Saturday this meeting will be scheduled. Are we clear on this? It's a very simple thing. If it does not repeat, the default is it does not repeat. If it repeats, then you have multiple options to add for a repetitive meeting. So if you have a staff meeting, if you have a client meeting, if you have meeting with others who are up country, you can make it a Zoom meeting. There is a small Zoom extension if you install, then you have this option of making it a Zoom meeting. Or if you have a Hangouts, you can say add conferencing on Hangouts also. If you make it a Zoom meeting, automatically your Zoom address will come here. If the meeting is at a particular location, you can type in the location. So if I say, this meeting is at Trident. Now you see, this is also integrated with Google Maps. So when you say Trident, it shows me options for Trident Hotel. So I'm saying Trident Hotel, Nariman Point. So automatically this location is selected. And when you see this on your phone, you click on the location, it will show you the map of how to reach there. Now this is very, very powerful because the integration is automatic. You don't do anything, you don't install any app. It's very simple to make it, to give the location. For Zoom meeting, Mr. Dharmendra, what you have to do is you have to add one extension called Zoom extension, Zoom scheduler on Chrome. For how to add extensions, we had a session on extensions. You can look up that and you'll know how to add extensions. So then automatically this option will come. Now, did you see this address, how it has come automatically? Or I want to say, I want to have this meeting in my office. I'll just remove this. I want to say I want to have it in my office, which is online. So here I am getting my office address automatically from Google Maps. And straight away, the map will come up when we go to that place. Yes, we can link Google Keep with the calendar. You can link Google Gmail with the calendar. Everything we can do. Yes, please. If you have to ask a question, ask quickly. Yes, we can set the reminder with an alarm. We are coming to that. First, listen to the whole thing, then you can ask your questions. Okay? So you have Maps integration. You can add a notification. The notification is there. You can say, I want to be reminded 10 minutes before, or I want to be reminded 1 hour before, or I want to be reminded 1 day before, or 2 weeks before, or whatever. Suppose you are planning a vacation. You want to be reminded 2 weeks before. So you can ask for a notification whenever you want it. The notification will be a pop-up on your computer screen if your calendar is open or if your calendar is not open. And on your mobile, if your mobile is also having the same Gmail login. So when you sync your calendar on the mobile, everything, whatever we are doing here, we will see how it gets linked on your mobile. So you don't have to enter it again on your mobile. You can assign a color to this meeting. Just now red was the default color. Suppose we take it as green. So then this meeting will be a green color. You can say, I want to show my time as busy. So we will see how other people can access your calendar. And if you show this time as busy, then no other meetings can be fixed between 4 and 4:30 on 2nd May. Default visibility is private, but you can make it public. We will see how to make it public and why to make it public. If you want any description for the meeting or agenda for the meeting, you can type it here. You can type numbered list, you can type bulleted list, whatever you want. If you want to carry some documents, you can have attachments to this meeting. So if you have some mail or you want to carry a Word document or an Excel sheet, you can just say, add an attachment. You can select a file from your desktop or from OneDrive, or you can upload something from your desktop straight away. And then of course you have the bold, italics, underline, bulleted lists, numbered lists. You can insert a link. if you are going to link to a website, suppose I want to discuss my website, so I can say, if it is www.online.com, then I can select it. I can give a link to this. So when I'm going for the meeting, I just say, okay. When I'm going to the meeting, all this will be available in front of me, and I can just click on this and open up my website and start discussion. See how powerful it is, where you can put attachments, you can carry virtually any document or a set of documents, multiple documents also you can add here. Guests. Now in this meeting, I want to add, say, Ashish. So Ashish has become a guest, and I want to add, say, I'm putting my wife's name so that I can show you what happens on her calendar also. So I'm putting my wife's name also. I can put as many guests as I want, and you can give permissions to the guest also. So in this meeting, if there are 10 people, I can say the guest can invite others. They can see the guest list, or I can say don't see the guest list, don't invite others. This is entirely my meeting. Or if it is my group, I can say I can invite others. The guests can see the guest list. 2 guests are there and 2 awaiting confirmation. Can you see this? 2 awaiting confirmation. Now all this information which I have typed, the meeting date, time, repetition if any, the map, notification, all the text that I have typed in this box, everything will automatically go to the guests. When I say save, what happens is, it asks me, would you like to send the invitation emails to Google Calendar guests? I say send. My meeting is here. Now, if you remember, we put a green color. So it has come with a green color. And now it has gone to the recipients, whoever the recipients were. Now, if you go to this meeting again and you see here, when I say add guests, I can add guests, say I'm saying Rajesh by Muni. So if there is an address, automatically the email address is picked up from your Gmail. And this is very, very powerful. This goes as a link to him also. And I say save. Now I have added one more person. So it says, would you like to send invitation emails to new calendar guests? I say yes, send. Or I can say don't send. Whatever I prefer. So now invitations have gone to 3 people. Now let us see what happens in my wife's account. Now see here, invitation meeting with ABC, how the mail has come. On Saturday, 2nd May at 4 p.m, meeting with ABC, where the address is there. Who are the other guests? It has come here. I can now decide, see here, all the guests are there, and whatever the text or junk I had typed here, it has come here. Can you see the screen, please? Okay, now can you see the screen? So the invitation, I have entered into my wife's email account. It says invitation meeting with ABC at Saturday, May 2nd, 4 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. IST. Now the beauty of this timing is also great. If I am sending a meeting to people all over the world, whatever my time is automatically converted to their local time. So they know what time they want to put it in. So here you get this sort of a thing. Agenda is something, then here all the invitees are there, all the junk that I had typed here. Now the person who receives this, he or she has to say, I'm going to the meeting, yes. I'll say maybe, or I'll say no. Or I have more options. I am not able to come for this meeting, so I can propose a new time. Or I can add notes to this. Now see how simple and powerful this is. The minute I say yes, I don't have to do anything else. I have just said yes. I don't have to reply to the mail. I don't have to do anything. When I say yes, I jump back to my original screen, and what happens there? I'll just go back to my original screen. Now, if I open this meeting here, it gives a tick here in front of my wife's name. Can you see this? There is a small tick here. That means this person has accepted the invitation for the meeting. Now, this is very, very powerful. It can be so useful and so fast that you don't have to think about doing anything further. Once you are in this box, you have more options. You can print this entire thing, you can delete, duplicate, and you can publish the event also. In any case, this part we will see how the publishing works. I can say save because now this person has said yes. So I know that out of 20 people, how many have said yes, how many have said no. It says here just now one has said yes and two are waiting. Sorry, this is not available on YouTube. You will have to come back to Zoom only. It is not live on YouTube, but it will be posted on YouTube after this meeting is over. That is tomorrow or day after latest. I come back, I save. Now this was a very, very simple example where I created a meeting, invited participants, and added some links, I added some text, I added some documents, and the meeting is ready for me in all ways. Now this is very, very cool, very simple. This is how we add one event. Now let us see if we can add. When we say add, somebody asked whether we can add a task. See here, when you say add, if you click on this particular, on anywhere on the calendar, you have the option of event, reminder, or task. Now what is a reminder? Reminder is a very simple thing where I want to call somebody, I want to be reminded about this. So I can say remind me on for call ABC. Yes, it updates the calendar of the invitee also. Automatically it will update the calendar of the invitee and he will get a replication of all that you had entered. It is very powerful. So reminder has only date and time. There are no other options. You just say call ABC at 5 p.m. on 2nd May and you say save. So here the reminder, you see that finger with a knot. There is something tied on the finger. It says call ABC. That is a reminder. The third option is you can add a task. Now, in the case of a task, you can put a description also. So you can say, I have to finish writing a report. This is my task. See the difference between a reminder and a task and an event. These are three different things. We are having tasks. Tasks is just like a to-do list. We will see it better when we actually go to tasks. But for the time being, just see that you can enter either an event, a reminder, or a task. Yes, calendar is synchronized automatically with the mobile phone. In the mobile phone, you have the option to synchronize calendars. You have the option to synchronize contacts. You have the option to synchronize mails. So if you have enabled it, it will automatically synchronize. So if I say save, now what it did is it added a task. Sorry, where did it go? It is here. Finish writing a report. It is come on purple. At 3 p.m. I have to finish writing. So here the task, the icon is different. There is a pencil and some dot. Here there is a finger with a string attached. Now this is very simple but very powerful. The minute you enter something here, it automatically gets into your it gets into your phone also, and it updates your phone. If you have multiple devices, I am doing this on my home computer now. I go to office, the calendar is the same. Only thing I have to remember is in Google and Gmail, I have to log in with the same user ID and password. Once I have logged in with the same user ID and password, everything is synchronized. I don't have to remember carrying my diary ever. Okay? Yes, the calendar will be useful all the time. Are we clear on this? Adding events, reminders, and tasks. Now, I have already put some other tasks or other appointments, send files to client, lunch with friend, I have to edit a video, I have to call ABC, I have to upload yesterday's video. So tomorrow I have to upload today's video to YouTube. So I have scheduled it. Okay, so this is very, very simple and very efficient. Now suppose I get a mail. I have got a mail, say invitation for meeting. I get a mail, say from my wife. Let's go for a vacation this Diwali. We need to talk to the kids also. Let us start planning by end of June. Please be patient. Listen to everything, then I'll take your questions. Individual questions we will take. Just understand the concept for the time being. Now, this particular mail has come to me. I want to add it to the calendar. So what do I have to do? Where will I add it? It says, let us start planning by end of June. So maybe sometime in the end of June, I want to add it to the calendar. So what I do here is I go to these three dots here on the top of the Gmail box. I hope you can see my cursor. Here, three dots. I can say create an event. So when I say create an event, it goes to my calendar. It links to this mail. See, this mail has come here in the box down below on the left. The entire mail has come here. I have not done anything. The header of the mail, that is the subject of the mail, has come here. I just have to select key. Okay, I have to discuss this on say 25th June. Maybe in the morning, I'll select say around 11:30 a.m. So I will discuss this and I'll say save. Now see here, the mail has come from my wife and I am the person who is entering in the calendar for the first time. It says, would you like to send invitation emails to Google Calendar guests? I am saying don't send. I'm just saving this. So now if I go to June, let's go for a vacation, June 25th, 11:30 a.m. It is automatically done. If I click on it, or I say double click on it, then the entire mail is here for me to see. I don't have to worry about where is that mail and again I have to search for it and then start discussing. No, everything is in one place. So this is a very powerful way of entering stuff in a calendar. From an email, you just go to the three dots here in more, create event, and then you create an event normally. Okay, so this is the first way of doing it. Now I'll just make my screen a little smaller so that you can see all the options now. Now suppose I want to create a task out of this. Let me go back to this. I want to create a task. Now on Gmail, if you go here on the right panel, if you see all these tiny icons, there is something called tasks. If you click on task, it will show me all my pending tasks and I can say add a task. Here I can say, let's go for vacation. and I edit the task, I can add details, I can add a date and time, and I can also add subtasks. So many a times a task may have multiple subtasks. Suppose you are giving something to your staff, then you have a series of tasks to be completed so that the main task is over. Suppose you are doing an audit, so you will have your juniors going there, doing the vouching, etc. Then you got seniors going there, doing the balance sheet audit, and then you will have a final report to be made. So you can create subtasks here. So you can say subtask 1, subtask 2, and so on. You can add details here, whatever you want to write, and you can just save it. Automatically it gets saved. So let's go for vacation is already saved. There are 2 tasks here. I can edit each task or subtask also, and I can give a date and time for each subtask also. Only one level is allowed. Multiple levels are not allowed. So you can add your tasks and your events directly from the Gmail, and automatically they will be available. Okay. Where did this go? Sorry, what did we call it? Let's go for vacation. Okay. And I don't remember the date what we put, but it automatically comes here as a task. Okay, June 25 did we put? Okay, then it would be on automatically on June 25. So if you are seeing this, the calendar is very powerful. You can interact from Gmail also. You can add tasks, subtasks, and reminders also from Gmail. Now let us see what more you can do with the calendar. Let's get into settings and see what are the other things that you can do in calendar. This is the settings on the top next to that week display. If you can see my cursor, settings menu, go to settings. Now there are a whole lot of settings that are available here. Of course, language, country, date format. You can select your date format. We are not very comfortable with the American format. So you can select your date format. You can select your time as 24-hour or AM, PM. There is another option to display a secondary time zone. So if you're traveling, you want your Mumbai to be there, but you want a second time zone also. So you can say display a secondary time zone, and it could be anything. You can select from any time zone, and you can have multiple time zones. Number one, even if you are not outside India, but you are in India, but you are always dealing with some collaborator out of India, you can ask for a secondary time zone, and it will show you on the calendar directly. You have the option to select a world clock. So you can select any time zones which you want to see on your calendar. Just to see quickly, when you see my calendar, I'm seeing this India time is so-and-so, Los Angeles is so-and-so, Sydney is so-and-so, UAE is so-and-so, and GMT is so-and-so. I have selected so many time zones. So at a glance, when I'm sitting in my office and I want to call somebody or I want to write a mail to somebody, I know exactly what time it is at each location directly. I don't have to go to another app, or I don't have to search for. So you can select as many world clock settings. You can say show world clock, or you can disable it, so nothing will be shown. Then I told you event settings. You can say default is 30 minutes or 45 minutes or 15 minutes. Any time slot you want to select, you can select a time slot which will be the default time slot. Later on, you can always modify it. Now, this is also interesting. There is something called alternate calendar. Alternate calendar means I can select any other calendar which is an alternate calendar. Suppose I select the Hindu calendar. What happens is when I go to my, you see here April, May 2020, but it is Vaishakha 1942. That is the Hindu calendar. And there are the dates of the Hindu calendar down below, what you call as Tithi or whatever. So these are the English dates on the top, and on the bottom are the Hindu calendar dates. Now you can select any calendar anywhere in the world, and these dates will be available to you. Not necessarily that you have to do it, but this option is available. So you have something called alternate calendar. If you see here, alternate calendars, there are types and types of alternate calendars. Chinese, of course, you can't forget the Chinese, Hebrew, Kuwaiti, Hijri, Saudi, Korean, Persian. So many calendars are available as an alternate calendars. Okay, so this is one part of the settings. The other part, and that is very interesting, is you can also add calendars. Now see, there are so many calendars that I have. If you notice, this is typically my own calendar, that is my personal. Then I have a family calendar, I have a reminders calendar, I have a Rotary calendar, I have a Zoom calendar, and I have a bank calendar. Now all these calendars you can enable or disable. So when you enable all, you will see all the items pertaining to all the calendars. But if I only want to see what are my Zoom meetings, so I can just go here, I can say display this only, and only my Zoom meetings are, just now this meeting is on, tomorrow I have another Zoom meeting, and then on 4th I have another meeting, and on 7th I have another meeting, on 8th morning I have another meeting, 8th evening I have another meeting. So if you see, you can create individual calendars for each of your stuff. Yes, we'll come to the sharing of the calendars. Please bear with me. When I say I want to see all, then all the calendars will be shown. So for each type of stuff, I can have a different calendar. How do I add a calendar? I can go and say plus, create a new calendar. I can name it. I can say testing calendar. I can give a brief description of it for testing and training. Time zone, I say create calendar. It creates the calendar automatically. I already have a training test calendar. Okay. So now I have testing training calendar also. Now the minute you go into the calendar, you can go to calendar settings. Now the settings are here, you can say make available to public. So then your calendar is published. Okay. You can get a shareable link. Once you get a shareable link, you can share it with people so they can see where you are occupied, where you are not occupied. It is very useful when you are doing some consulting and all. So you can show your schedule to your prospective clients and you can show them the slots where you are available. So you can get a shareable link, or you can share with specific people. You can say, I want to add people here. So whoever you want to share this calendar with, you can select the people here. Of course, notifications and stuff like that is all common. You can go through this. You saw this. This was the one that we created just now, testing calendar. Then we have training test, we have Zoom. So each of the calendars you can control separately. Each of the calendars you can share separately, either publicly or privately, or with a few people specifically. Share link is risky. Maybe it is risky, but then everybody has to have that much information. The link has to be there with them. If they don't have the link, they cannot see it. Only people who have the link can see the calendar. So each type of activity that you can have a separate calendar with a separate color code. So when you are enabling all these, then automatically you will see all the options available. The red is for something, the blue is for something, the green is for something else, etc., etc. These are your tasks, these are your daily tasks, these are your birthdays on top, these are your reminders. Okay. How to create a calendar? Once more, we will go to, there is something called other calendars, and you say plus, add other calendars. And that is how you create a new calendar. Okay. Now, the beauty is you can also look up other calendars, as in there are publicly available calendars like holidays in India. If you select this, then all holidays in India will be on this calendar automatically. There is some Jamaat ul Vida on 22nd Friday. So when you click on holidays in India, you will see all holidays in India automatically on your calendar. Here there is something Ramzan Eid on 25th of May. Maybe you will have Diwali, Dashera also a little later. This is Onam on 31st of August. Did you get this? So you can enable or disable holidays in India. Come back to today by just clicking on today. How to share a link? You go into any calendar, settings and sharing, and then here you can make a link available to public or get a shareable link. Okay. Now, I think we will now go to the mobile part of the calendars, which is also very, very useful. Google, of course, is the best way to connect and synchronize all your stuff on the mobile. Let's see, I am just connecting my mobile. You'll have to give me a minute or two so that you can see the mobile. Okay, can you see my mobile screen? Yes? Okay, so on my mobile screen, I have this calendar here. So I will click on calendar and now see how beautifully my calendar looks on the mobile. I always like, it doesn't work seamlessly with the iPhone calendar. You may need to have Google Calendar on your mobile. You can download the app from the App Store. I have selected, normally I said I like a week view, but on the mobiles, the week view looks like this. So it is horrible. On the mobile, I always prefer to have a schedule view. You remember schedule in that? If you see a month view, it is still horrible. You can't read anything. So I prefer a schedule view, which makes it much simpler. Now see, I had put a meeting with collaborator at Taj Mahal. He is actually showing me the Taj Mahal photograph automatically. I have not done anything. I have just entered Taj Mahal, if you remember. So I click on it, meeting with collaborator from this to this, repeats every Saturday. This is the location. Let me know 10 minutes before as email. And if I click on this location, it will show me how to get there. It will open Google Maps and show me how to go to Taj Mahal also. So it says it's a 5-star hotel. It takes 38 minutes, and you can just say directions and it will start giving you directions to reach there. I can go this way, it will take me 38 minutes. I can go this way, I can go this way, etc. etc. Typical Google Maps. Now, this is the beauty of writing your stuff. Sorry. Writing your locations on your calendar. When you write a location, you can say, I am saying lunch with friend, 12:45 to 1:15. So see, a nice picture of lunch automatically has come. I have not to, or I am saying meeting with ABC. Remember this, we had done 4 to 4:30 at online. So I click on this and automatically I get the full address. I got 3 guests. One person has okayed it. You remember, my wife had okayed it. These 2 people have not yet okayed it. All the information is automatically synced and available right here. Now this is very, very powerful. Very powerful. Now, if I want to find a holiday, this again is available only in mobile. I have a search. I can ask on the calendar itself, when is Diwali? So it shows me in 2020, Diwali is on November 14 and November 16. And if you remember, we had an appointment which we created on June 25. Let's go for a vacation this Diwali. Remember? So even that it has picked up and it is showing me wherever the word Diwali comes, it is showing me here. Now suppose I say, instead of Diwali, I say anything else. I can say when is Holi to is already gone. Any other Dashera? Okay, no Dashera, not found. Say Raksha Bandhan or Rakhi. Okay, Raksha Bandhan is on 3rd of August 2020. Parsi New Year has still not come, my dear. It is only universal. Christmas, of course, everybody knows, but just if you think Google doesn't know, we can try. So it is showing me Christmas Eve and Christmas has a very fancy picture also associated with it. So you can look for holidays. You can add appointments. So I can say here there is a plus sign down below. Can you see the plus sign? There is a plus sign. Now when you say plus, then the calendar allows you to do 3 things. It allows you to add an event, which is the normal course. You add events, so you add a title, you put the date, time, repeat, add people, add location, notification. If there is conferencing, you can have conferencing, keep a color, keep a description, you can have an attachment, etc., etc. So this is the simplest way of adding. But when you say add and you say goal, now this is something interesting. You say goal, you can choose a goal. Now this is something interesting. Listen to this carefully. So you can have exercise as a goal. You can say build a skill as a goal, learn a language or practice an instrument, or family and friends, make time for people. Or you can say me time, I want to read. These are all suggestions by Google. And then down below, it has options of creating your own goals. But let us say we choose exercise. In exercise, I have all these options. So I will say do yoga. Suppose I select yoga. I say 5 times a week. And I want to do it for 1 hour every morning. Now what happens is, if you have Google Fit, that is the wearable, then it connects with your Google Fit also. But I don't have a Google Fit, so I say no thanks. So what I have decided, do yoga 5 sessions a week, 1 hour in the mornings. Okay. I have some more options, but I will not get into that. I'll just say save. Now what it does is in the morning, it finds the free time in the morning and schedules my yoga sessions. Now see, this is the beauty of it. It is saying finding time for your goal, scheduling sessions, and morning 8 to 9, it has given me a slot and it has put on my other calendar also. Now see, a nice yoga mat has come. You're not getting goal as an option. Okay, just give me some time. Just understand this first. We can do this separately also. Can you see this? Now it says first time is tomorrow 8 a.m. Does this time work for you? I'll say looks fine, or I can adjust the time. I can say no, I don't want to do it 8 to 9. I want to do it 7 to 8. I can say looks fine. Click on looks fine, and automatically now what has happened is it has put 8 to 9 on second. Now if I go on third, I said how many days a week? 5 days a week. Okay, so on Monday again I have got 8 to 9. On Tuesday 5th, I have got so many other things before that. So it gives me 10 to 11. Automatically it adjusts the time. On 6th, again 8 to 9. So typically he has said mornings 8 to 9 is the right time. But if you have something else on that day, at that time, I will shift it. So automatically your schedule is done. You can straight away. Now let us see what has happened here. Okay, let me get out of this. Now let me go to my original calendar. Now my first date is do yoga 8 to 9, do yoga 10 to 11, do yoga 8 to 9, 8 to 9, 8 to 9. Everywhere now, I said 5 days a week. So every week now, my 8 to 9 yoga time is fixed. Suppose I put some other appointment here, then automatically this fellow will shift and it will adjust itself either before or after this time. This is also very, very powerful. I think there are many calendars all over. You can use your Apple calendar, you can use your Outlook calendar, you can use any number of calendars. But what I have found is the Google Calendar is one of the best in terms of integration, tight integration, very, very powerful and very easy to understand. I think we'll stop here in the interest of time. I think we have overshot the time. Anybody, any questions if I have missed? My shared calendar on the recipient's phone or system will be automatically, if I give him the link, it will automatically open up directly in his calendar. Tasks are not on mobile. Yes, you are right. Tasks are not on mobile. You have to download an app called Google Tasks, and then your tasks will be automatically integrated. For some strange reason, in the calendar, the tasks are not there. Outlook calendar can be shared or synced with Google, or Google Calendar can be synced with Outlook. There is an elaborate way of doing it. If you go and search on Google, you will be able to find these options. How to add Google Calendar to Outlook or how to add Outlook Calendar to Google. Most important is practice, practice, and practice. You can set birthdays for each year. Yes, you can set it automatically. Once you add a birthday, you add it on the a full day event and it will add automatically, and you can say repeat every year. How to carry forward task incomplete. Okay, important thing. Please listen to this. When you enter reminders, reminders automatically get carried forward. Tasks don't get carried forward automatically. Reminders automatically get carried forward. So if you have not done something today, it automatically goes to the next day and it keeps on carrying forward. But the task does not get carried forward because task is something which you have scheduled to do today. If you don't do it today, then it forces you to drag it to the next day. Cannot delete birthday reminder. Sorry, you should be able to delete. How to mark task as completed. On the task itself, you can do that. I think we don't have time to go into that detail, but it is a very simple thing. It's available. What are you saying? Add to calendar. Gmail on phone doesn't show. No, Gmail on phone will not show you that. You have to go to calendar only. Or Gmail on the desktop. On phone, it doesn't have the option to add to calendar. Any other questions which I have missed out? Anyone? Rajesh, can you, if you have listed any, I'm sorry, Paresh. How I shared mobile screen. I shared mobile screen by using an app called SiteSync. I have to download it on my mobile as well as on, but SiteSync is also working only on Samsung phones. Can we connect mobile net on PC? Out of the way question, but can you throw light? We can connect mobile net on PC, definitely yes. If the PC has a Wi-Fi connection, and on mobile you have to say share your, on the mobile in your options, you have this option. I'll just quickly tell you. It says mobile hotspot and you can connect it directly. Yeah. Do events take a lot of space in our Gmail? No. You can delete past events, yes, but they don't take any space. It's hardly anything. Personal data kept on calendar. This is a topic, is my favorite topic. How safe it is. How safe is the jewelry that you put in your safe deposit locker? You know, if you lose the key, they will call a chaviwala and they will open it in 5 minutes. How safe is it? It is as safe as the environment that is created around it. So here on the net, the environment is very strict and very powerful, and it is very difficult to hack into it. Hacking does take place. There is no ultimate security. Always I keep saying this. There is no ultimate security for anything. How safe is your house when you go out of town? When you lock the door and you go out of town, the chaviwala can make your key in 10 minutes. Okay, any other questions? On Yahoo, you can't use Google Calendar, sorry. On Yahoo, you can't use Google Calendar. Paresh, do you have the link to the feedback form? Then you can just paste it. And I will request everybody to just copy paste the feedback form into your browser and enter your feedback for the session. This entire session will be uploaded on YouTube in a day or two. I will be sending that link to you. And you can go and put your comments there. You can also enter what you would like to see next in the sessions. We are having these sessions currently at 9:30 p.m. on every Friday. Till such time the lockdown lasts, and the lockdown has been extended, I believe. So now it will last for a few more days. And I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have any, Mr. Paresh is just pasting the link for the feedback form. YouTube channel, you just look for my name and it will be, you will find it. You just look for my name on YouTube and you will find it. Can email with reading pane and calendar configured on the same screen? You can minimize the window and then resize the window and open two different windows, one on the calendar and one on Gmail, and you can look at it together. Thank you all, and thank you for waiting so long. I was told that we always need a session which is only 30 minutes or 40 minutes, but these topics are very difficult to cover in 30 minutes. Paresh has pasted my channel link also, so you can do that. Feedback link, if you can just paste it, Paresh, Anand, just copy paste the feedback link into your browser and just quickly, it doesn't take more than a minute to enter the feedback. Yeah, Gracie, you are saying you asked the other way around. Net is on the mobile, not on PC. I want on PC. No Wi-Fi on PC. No, you will have to buy a small Wi-Fi dongle, which is something like this. It doesn't cost much. It is a small dongle like this. You just push it into your PC and you can connect. Any other thoughts? Yes, the Wi-Fi dongle is 500 to 1000 rupees. It's very simple, and you just plug into your USB port and it can connect on Wi-Fi. Okay, thank you everyone. Wish you all the best. And if you want to get feedback, I'm sorry, if you want to get more information on this, on the future, as I said, you can just send a WhatsApp subscribe tech on this number and you will get future updates on this. Yes, you can give many things, Google Forms, Google Drive, Google Keep. We will do one by one. We have enough time. With the government extending the lockdown again and again, we have enough time to go on adding different topics. Just write on the YouTube channel, or you send me a WhatsApp on this number and give me your suggestions. Then we will see where the majority of the suggestions come to and we will be adding those. Thank you everyone. If you have been able to take the link, please, yes, lockdown extended for 14 days. So that's why I'm saying that again, another 2 weeks, I'm there every week. Not to worry. Thank you and good night.